started here. Let's go to Mike Duraco and then Jordan for the first two questions.
Hey, Jay, can you break down what you saw out of Luton last week and where you expect him to make his greatest improvement from week 1 to week 2?
Well, I thought for his first game ever with limited reps, I thought he did an outstanding job, really. I mean, if you think about how much you talk about being a quarterback and how repetition is king, and for him not to get any since training camp, and even in training camp, he got few and far between. For him to step in his first NFL game and stand in there and take some shots and make some throws, I thought it was really incredible. Not many guys in their first game with that limited exposure can step into the fire like that and perform like he did. Obviously, there's some throws I'm sure he wished he had back and some opportunities that were missed, but overall, from the way he was on the sideline, the poise, the control that he had at the line of scrimmage, using the play clock, changing protections from time to time, I thought was great. Now it's just a matter of continue to build, continue to get more and more reps against a different style of defense. Now he's going to have to try to prepare, get a game plan ready for these Packers and Coach Pettin's defense. So obviously very excited about the way he played. Unfortunately, we didn't get the win, but as far as Jake's concerned, I think there's a lot to like.
Thank you.
Thank you, D-Rock. Let's go over to Jordan.
Hey, Coach. Last couple weeks, James Robinson's gotten at least 15 carries, I think 16 carries in both games. Are you making a conceited effort to try to get him the ball more and feature the running game more?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I challenge offensive line and try to get them guys going and get their pads down and try to get some yards that protects the quarterback. And James has been playing very well. So he's one of our better players. So it's important to get him the ball and try to get him more touches. Fortunately, he's stayed healthy and done some good things. You know, sometimes it may look like we're predictable or what have you, but I think it's important for him to get his touches. It takes the pressure off the quarterback, and he's been very good.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jordan. Let's go over to Shipley.
Hey, Coach. Can you just talk about the performance that DJ Chark had on Sunday? It looked, at least from the outside, one of his better games, if not his best game this year.
Yeah, it was great. You know, he had a full week of practice, healthy. You know, I think the last couple of weeks he's practiced with his pink jersey on and wasn't quite feeling up to speed. But I think having a good week of practice, honing in on his assignments, I think he did good. And obviously, Jake gave him some good balls early, got him involved early, which is important for a guy like him. You know, these guys want to get involved early. They want to feel part of the game. And to get him the touchdown on the third or fourth play of the game was critical as far as a domino effect for the way he played. So I think when you're talking about concerted effort to get James Robinson the ball, I think the same goes through for DJ. We got to get him the ball early and see if he can get see if we can get him going because he's an explosive guy.
And Coach, Jake said on Sunday that him and DJ had repped that same throw a couple times in practice and missed it. What kind of testament is it that they were able to hit it when it mattered?
Yeah, I think a couple things. One, you know, DJ had a great release and ran by him, and Jake did a nice job of putting the necessary top on the ball where he could adjust to it. So that's what I keep talking about, reps with these guys. You know, it's one thing to say he hadn't had many reps with the terminology and the system and all that stuff, but also with the guys he's throwing to. He never throws to those guys, you know, except last week for the first time, really. So. He's going to get used to his guys running those type of routes for him, and those guys will get used to him.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it, Shipley. Let's go over to Mark and then Gene.
You're on mute, Mark.
Damn it. I took my hand down instead of that. Screwed it up. All right. How much did Laviska's injury affect the playbook, and how much do you have anybody who could even fill those roles, or when he goes out like that, you just kind of scrap that whole section?
Yeah, they're scrapped. You know, Laviska does some special things. You put him in a backfield, you can do some wildcat things, and you don't do that to anybody else. He's getting all those reps, the reverses and all that stuff. You know, some other guys we can get out in space and do some things, but Laviska's a different cat and calls for a different type of plays. So once he went out, it shortened up our playbook, but we had plenty of other stuff to get to. We were fine.
Thank you, Mark. And let's go over to Gene for the last one. Oh, second time.
Hey, Jay, in your mind, trying to be fair to all quarterbacks, and I realize this is simply a guess. How many games would you say is fair to properly evaluate, how a quarterback really fits with your scheme, or is possibly somebody that would have a long-term future? How many games would you? 4, 8, 12? I'm just curious from your perspective what that would be.
I don't know if you can really put a number on it. I think you're looking for progression week in and week out, knowledge of the system, saying the right things, and then going out and trying to do the right thing. Sometimes a game may not look like the quarterback played very well, but the people around him didn't play very well either. So you can't judge a quarterback's grade based on statistical performance or the score sometimes. But you do have to look and deep down inside and see what they look like on game day, how they handle pressure. Do they still have the poise? Do they look scared? Is it something you feel like you're somebody that has a skill set you think you can build and work with in the future? And then you make your decision based on production over a year, over 2 years, or what have you. It's up to the head coach and the coordinator and the GM and the owner to make that decision. But my job right now is to try to get these guys the best possible plays they can to succeed. And I think throwing Jake in there and even Gardner, they've both done some great things. And we hope that Jake continues to build off the performance last week.
As a follow-up, obviously Doug has mentioned that he was disappointed in Gardner not being more forthcoming about his injury. But once he's healthy again, would you like to be able to, see what he's going to do moving forward once you're assured that he's 100% ready to go?
Yeah, I think that's up to Coach Marone, really. I'm just going to coach the guys that we have, and I really have a strong belief that all three of these guys in our building can have success at the quarterback position. Moving forward with the future of the organization, I think that's a discussion that our owner and GM and obviously Coach Marone will have, and then whatever they decide. I'm good with all these guys. I think they have talent. They're smart. They're competitive. So there's a lot to like about all of them. But we do have to play better to position in order for us to get off this snide that we're on. We've lost, I think, 6 or 7 in a row, and it's unacceptable for that position. A lot of pressure is put on that position. They got to play better.
Thanks.
Yep. Thank you, Gene. Let's go to 2 final questions. Let's go Cassidy, and then we'll finish with John Reed.
Hey, Coach. Just what have you seen from Green Bay's defense, especially in relation to a game plan for a quarterback's second game ever?
Yeah, they're good. Obviously, they have good pass rush. They do multiple things in the secondary coverage wise. They move people around. They rush little guys. They drop big guys. So from a pass protection standpoint, we got to make sure we're playing with our eyes and understanding who's coming and who's not coming. So that's the important thing. And then coverage wise, it'll be important for our quarterback to see the different types of coverage. They roll one side, they'll double somebody, they'll bring the safety out of the middle of the field and play lurk. They'll do a lot of different things that can confuse a young quarterback. So we'll have to get a good plan together, and Jake will have to see the coverages, and then obviously our receivers have to win in some of these man coverages that they play. So it'll be a great challenge for all of us. They're a good football team, without a doubt.
And then just quick follow-up, what do you imagine it will be like to play in an empty Lambeau?
I don't know. It's weird playing an empty stadium everywhere, really. Even, the small amount of people that we get at our games that are allowed. It's different. Obviously, it's a lot better playing at Lambeau as a road team being empty than full. So we don't have to mess with the snap count issues. But it's still a great historic place, and I'm anxious to get up there.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, and let's wrap up with John.
How you doing, Coach? How much does Luton's poise kind of stands out to you, and how much does that help that Houston didn't have any game film of him other than what he did at Oregon State, but obviously Green Bay has this game tape of him and just preparation-wise, but what stands out to you about his poise?
I think that's something that you can't really judge. You see it in practice every day. A guy seems like he has poise, but you never know what the poise looks like on game day. That's the important time to really show and display the poise. And to take our team 2 minutes, with 2 minutes to go down and get a touchdown with a scramble to possibly tie the game, I think says a lot about him and his poise and his competitive spirit. So that's exciting. And teams will get the film on him and they'll study him. They'll study our scheme. And it's our job to try to put him in positions that are not easy to see or read. So We got to do a good job as an offense to game plan, whether Gardner's a quarterback, Jake's a quarterback, Glennon's a quarterback. I think from a scheme standpoint, that's our job to disguise our intent, so to speak, and then the quarterback's job to perform, and hopefully he'll do a good job.
All right. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate
All right.
the time.
Thank you.
Couple roster updates for you guys. The release will